Good morning. Good morning. We are back. I am back here for our weekly lunch and learn. And today we are talking about reasons that you should put yourself first and where to start. And this is just a beautiful time of year where we can really easily get carried away with life, projects, being outside, taking care of other people, and just getting into the spring of things. It's spring. And recently I've encountered a few too many people, including myself, that have had this challenge of really letting life get out of control. And that's what we're talking about today. We are really looking at reasons you need to put yourself first before it becomes too late. So let me know where you're coming in from. If you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. And if this is your first time here, type in first time in the chat. That would be amazing. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Larissa McCook. I'm an author, speaker, and CEO of Larissa McCook Coaching, and I lead highly successful women through mental barriers and into unstoppable confidence, authenticity, and empowered lives. And today we are talking about five reasons that you should put yourself first and where to start. So I want to tell you a story. I just want to paint this picture for you. A few weeks ago, I had a lot on the go. I have a lot on the go most of the time, but this was just one of those exceptional weeks. I was in transition with some new team members. So we were doing a lot of training and a lot of going back and forth with things. I was decided to put on a last minute intensive, a 2-day boot camp for my clients. And I was so excited about this. It was super, super valuable. And I decided to design and hold this event the weekend before the Unstoppable You workshop was kicking off. So the Unstoppable You, we were live teaching for 5 days. We had 4 more bonus days. So there was 9 days I was invested in this event. And the weekend prior, I put on a last minute brand new event that I had literally started from scratch. Right now, while Unstoppable You was wrapping up, I also started, I'm attending another event to learn for myself. I'm auditing a training that I've taken in the past just because the opportunity came up. So this is an 8-day event where I'm in training right now for 8 to 9 hours a day. And it was just, this is like the beginning of this long stint. So a few weeks ago, there was like a lot of things that had accumulated. This is not my typical schedule. And so we hadn't even gotten into this work. And before, I remember during this boot camp that I put on for my clients, I was really, really in this state where I let life get away from me. I was really underslept. I was sleeping about 4 hours a night, maybe 5 on a good night. Maybe once a week. I actually track my sleep. So once a week, I was getting about 8 hours of sleep for a couple weeks prior. I was not really eating healthy food like I normally do. I was eating healthy food, but not quite enough. I wasn't eating at regular intervals. I used to eat a salad a day, and there I was like, well, let me just substitute a smoothie for lunch. And it was too many days in a row I did that, right? You can do that one day. You can't do that every day. And then I also wasn't moving. I was just sitting. I was at my computer. I was at my desk, and it did not feel good. So let me know if you can relate to this, if you can relate to any of these things, because I didn't realize, I was like, yeah, I know I'm busy. I'll catch up later. I know I'm busy. I'll catch up later. I know I'm busy. I'll catch up later. And I kept telling myself the story in my head. And generally, I'm pretty good at balancing these things. These couple weeks, it totally left my side. And by the end of that weekend where I was doing that training, I remember I could feel my energy dropping and dropping. I was great while I was training, and then I literally turned off my Zoom chat, my Zoom screen from the training, and I almost fell off my chair. My head was spinning. I was so dizzy. I had shakes all over my body, and I felt like really sick. And so I knew that it was just this accumulation of energy and exhaustion, and I couldn't take it anymore. It was not a good feeling. This is not how I want to live. This is not typical for me. And so instead of being shocked, I took this as a really good wake-up call. I turned off my computer. I had a lot of things on my to-do list. I'm like, I think I'm going to leave all my work for now. I'm going to go turn off my computer and have a bath. I went home. I went to bed early, and I had the Epsom salt bath. I just crawled into bed and I slept. And the next day I took it easy and I was completely transformed. Even by the end of that bath, everything had just totally settled. And I was really stretching myself thin with my responsibilities, with my family, with my obligations, with everyone and everything. And have you ever felt that way before? Have you ever felt like you're just being all things to everyone? You may be enjoying it, you may be liking it, it might be motivating, but at the end of the day, you just feel exhausted, burned out, and completely depleted, right? You know you should put yourself first, and you even promise yourself you will, maybe eventually, but when it comes down to it, you see your schedule, you're booked from morning till night, you have emails coming in throughout the day, you have your to-do list that's a mile long, and you want to commit to finishing it. Right? Why am I bringing this up? Right? Why am I bringing this up? Because one of these days, your body is going to say, I can't take this anymore, right? Just like it did to me. Like my body said that. My body's like, no, yeah, I can't take this anymore. You need to stop before I have to give you another sign. It was giving me little signs along the way, and I chose not to pay attention. I'm very intuitive. And in this case, I made a very bad choice. And so we need to start paying attention to our worlds and to the signs our body is giving us, because I took it as my wake-up call, and I'm like, okay, great opportunity to recalibrate and start paying more attention like I generally do. And you can do that too, right? It can be really quite simple to make some big shifts. And just imagine, sometimes we think we have to make massive shifts and transform our entire lives. But you don't have to do that. It's the little things that make a big difference in life that's going to allow you to wake up feeling rested, refreshed, and ready to take on the day. It's the little things in life, the sneaky things, the little small, tiny changes that you can make that can make a world of difference. And they don't have to take a lot of time, and they don't have to take a lot of brain power. These are small things that you can build into your day, that you can build into your life, that you can build into your world, that just become automatic, right? And so when things go wrong, sometimes we take these as signs that, oh my God, I have a problem, I have to fix it. Well, rather than just trying to fix the problem in the moment, I want you to circle back and rewind your story, rewind the situation, and look at what actually led to that problem. In this case, I'm putting it in the context of health and well-being. This can happen in relationships. This can happen in business. I promise you, nothing that happens in your world happens by accident. There is always a sign. There is always something that is hinting at something that might not be incongruent, something that might be out of alignment. And there are some signs that I want to really touch on that are physical signs that really do impact health and well-being. And these are reasons that you want to really pay attention to putting yourself first, because they might seem like they're just normal or a part of your everyday. When you let these get carried away, they can lead to long-term health implications. They can lead to a lot of challenges in your life. And you want to nip these things in the bud, because the solutions are really simple and easy. So the first thing is headaches, right? Headaches. There's a lot of people that get headaches. We're not going to get into a big medical discussion, but I remember when I used to get headaches. I was in 8th grade. And my mom used to always just pop a Tylenol when she got a headache. So I would pop a Tylenol, and it got to the point where I would have a headache every single day. And I would be popping 2 or 3 extra strength Tylenol at a time throughout the day, like multiple times. It didn't do anything for my headache. I'm like, oh, got a headache, take a Tylenol. Good reason to get up and walk to the water fountain during the middle of class, right? I'm like, oh, I have to go take a Tylenol. They let me do that. Good opportunity to go for a walk. And the headaches never went away. And later, when I started getting into the world of health and well-being, and I started understanding how my body works and what healthy practices are, I stopped getting headaches. The headaches just disappeared. They just went away. And one of the big things I realized is a lot of the headaches at that time were being caused by chronic dehydration. I wasn't drinking, and I wasn't drinking enough. And then they were also being caused by malnourishment and really eating the wrong foods for me at the time. I ate a lot of carbs for breakfast. I used to eat bagels. Bagels were the big thing, like throughout high school and elementary school. Like we got into a lot of bagels and cereal, and that would just crash my blood sugar, and I'd be like passed out in class. I'd be so tired. I'd be struggling to keep my eyes open. And it was something as simple as that, but I didn't understand it at the time because those are breakfast foods. When I started eating salads, when I started drinking water, like I like eating salads for breakfast. That feels really good for me. When I started eating better sources of protein for breakfast, that feels really good for me. These things nourish me and energize me instead of help me crash. I didn't understand that at the time. And so those were things leading to my headaches. So if you are getting headaches throughout the day, maybe you're drinking too much caffeine, maybe some of your food choices are not being effective, maybe you're underslept. And there are a lot of things that you could be doing in your day that could be leading to these symptoms and these bad signs that ultimately you don't just need to take medication for it, right? You need to take care of yourself and go back to square one. Really, really step back and look at it. And even when it comes to the cures for headaches, it's not just popping a Tylenol. That works temporarily, but if this is a recurring problem, there are things that you want to look at that can really impact you. Body work, can, like, even posture, sitting at the computer can dramatically impact those things. And so you want to really look at things from different angles. Okay, so even just changing the position at your desk. I know my husband used to sit like this. He raised his computer and now he keeps his head over his shoulders. Simple strategy. So the point I want to make is just because you have a symptom doesn't mean that you have to be that way. Second sign that you need to take care of yourself is exhaustion. Right? Exhaustion. We live in a world where we are underslept, where we stay up too late, where we don't sleep very effectively and very well these days. A big part of it is these devices, electronic devices, play a huge impact in that. Also, it could be sleep. It could be like a bedtime routine. It could be, again, back to your diet and your nourishment. There are so many factors that lead to exhaustion, but ultimately exhaustion, you need to have sleep. You need to have sleep. If you're always tired, you're not going to be able to function. You're going to be in a constant state of brain fog. You're going to be in a constant state of brain fog, and you won't be able to think clearly or contribute. So if you are wanting to do beautiful things with your life, take a look at that exhaustion, rewind, look at what it's leading to, and commit to building yourself back into your day. Do things that are relaxing. Take breaks during your day and actually train yourself to slow down. Because if you're at this constant state of go, 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 you won't be able to slow down when you really need to. And taking, like Arianna Huffington, I love what she did an entire book on sleep called The Sleep Revolution. And she like encourages people to take naps during the day. And when she really started getting more sleep, she actually became so much more productive and not exhausted, in a much more alert state. So exhaustion is a big one. If you find yourself irritable, right? If you're irritable, if you're snapping at people and you're just in a bad mood, right? This is a sign that things are not going well in your world. It might be your internal world, it might be your external world, and chances are it's a bit of both. If you find yourself reacting versus responding, it's a big sign that there is some kind of discord or some kind of disconnect, because you're not able to, first of all, could be a matter of skills and that you just don't have the skill set to do that. But chances are, if you generally behave pretty well and you're irritable, like you've got too much on your mind. Maybe your focus is in the wrong place. Is your focus on what's working or on what's not working? Are you hydrated? Are you nourished? Are you feeding your body? Are you feeding your mind? And if you're not, you got to go back and take a look at what is causing that irritability. Sometimes we don't really think of that as a sign that we need to take care of ourselves, but we get irritable when we do things for everyone else and maybe don't have that 5 minutes for ourselves to refuel or recalibrate ourselves. And also, if you find yourself getting sick or getting ill, right? If you have a physical symptom of something, that's a really big sign that it is manifested from it. Your body is a really smart machine. When you have a physical sign, it is your body telling you to wake up. It is your body asking you to wake up. It's saying, you have neglected XYZ, and I am giving you this sign. So it could be a louder signal. I'm asking you to pay attention. It's not a sign that you're sick. It's not a sign that you're ill. It's your body saying, something is out of balance in your life, and I'm asking you to take a look at it and address it. So it really does come back to basics. When I was working in one of my former businesses, we noticed that a lot of people went on vacation and they were like, oh my God, I need this vacation. And they use vacation as an escape, right? They felt stressed at home. They went on vacation, they'd relax, and then they'd come home, and a day or two later, they would get sick. It was that their body had taken time out, like they had taken that downtime during vacation, and things like the toxins in your body literally release when you have downtime. And then when the toxins are releasing, they manifest it as this physical symptom of getting sick. And so often the physical symptoms in our lives are resulting from something. There are so many different variations for so many different conditions. But what you want to do is, if you're constantly fueling your body with the right things, if you're constantly fueling your mind with the right things, even if you have a condition, chances are you can dramatically decrease the symptoms, and you can also potentially eliminate them to the point of non-existence. There are some really sophisticated tools you can use for that. And it can also be as simple as, I have a gut problem. I'm going to choose to eat a more alkaline diet instead of eating a lot of gluten, eating a lot of meat, eating a lot of foods full of toxicity that are impacting my gut. Instead of aggravating my condition, I'm actually going to help support it. Okay, so it could be something as simple as that. And with burnout and anxiety, that's another thing. If you feel like you're getting anxious and your heart is palpitating, or you're getting burnt out all the time, that goes back to basics. That's a sign that it's time to take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, nobody else will be able to. So I want to just give a really, really simple solution. There's two things I want you to think about. And the first one is, when it comes down to the basics of health, this is not going to be a big lecture on diet and health and well-being, but I think there are three main things that you want to pay attention to. Okay. And I read about them in Tom Rath's book, and he has business books. He's actually the author of Strength Finder, but he wrote this book called Eat, Move, Sleep. And what I love about this book, like I've read a lot of health books in my journey, but what I loved about this book was that he basically said you need to do three things consistently and really build in simple strategies into your life. So you just do these consistently. If you do these consistently, chances are your health and well-being will be there when you need it, right? So eat, move, sleep. And he's got some really beautiful, easy strategies for doing that. And even if you just go and think about that in your day, if you write down eat, move, sleep, for any of these things that might be going on in your life, headaches, exhaustion, irritable, you're getting sick, you're getting burned out, are you eating? Are you moving? Are you sleeping? Right? You can get really sophisticated with better ways to do these things. But if at the core you're not doing something, if you're not eating, period, you should start eating. If you are not eating foods that are nourishing you and giving you energy, perhaps change your sandwich to a salad. Eat some vegetables and protein. Maybe eat whole foods instead of foods out of a box. And these days we have so many amazing meal delivery options, like healthy meal delivery options. It doesn't just have to be Uber Eats, that can actually nourish your body, right? It doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be a big challenge. So eating, make sure I'm always drinking. Like during my talks, I have to drink water. I'm drinking water all day long. I sip on it all day long. And water is such an important part of nourishment. Coffee doesn't cut it. You may like your coffee ritual. Coffee is not a hydrating substance. And you need to make sure that water is going into your body and you have a sufficient amount of water and it's actually sticking to you, because water is what cleanses your cells. Water is what cleanses your cells. If your cells are not, if your cells are full of garbage, if they're not being cleaned out, if they're not being flushed out, then you're going to be tired. It's almost like your garbage on garbage day. You want it cleaned out so you can put more stuff in. You want to keep cleaning it out. Water is one of those things that cleanses our system. Moving, right? Moving your body, moving your limbs, even something as simple as moving your arms and moving your legs, right? I'm pretending I'm swimming right now. This feels really incredible. Just opening up my chest. You can turn your body. You can move your head. You don't even have to get up off your desk. And even just something as simple as that, like taking a breath, right? Something even as simple as that can make a world of difference, because that is going to moving your limbs will get your lymphatic system, again, another garbage pump of the body, get that moving. Your arms and legs, you need to move that. You want to get your heart rate up so you can really improve your circulation and bring oxygen to your cells. You want to be breathing throughout the day. So even breathing might seem so simple, but if you're not breathing, there's a really huge opportunity with that in order to contribute to the movement of your body on so many different levels. And so moving, like arms, legs, get your heart rate up, go for a walk, go do some stairs. Love stairs. Breathe, right? Breathing is so key. And even within the realm of movement, I'm going to also say stillness within that movement. Okay, so you want to physically move your body, and you also want some of that stillness, because if you are always go, 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 go in that fight or flight mode, you don't have time to take that break. You don't have time to take that break. You need to give yourself a mental break as well, okay? Where you can focus on your breathing, things like that. The last one is sleep. Okay, so the last thing that Tom Rath talks about is sleep. And when you are sleeping, your brain is washing and cleansing itself throughout the night. Your brain is, we have so many different sleep cycles we go through. And if we break those sleep cycles, or if we don't complete them, or if we don't get to bed at a certain time, if we're not in bed by 11 o'clock, we don't get the right balance of hormones that can help cleanse our mind and our bodies throughout the night. So it's a really, really important thing to do, to actually get enough sleep, to be in bed by a certain time. If you're in bed by 10, 11 at the latest, that's kind of what you need in order to optimize the functions for health in alignment with the world's clocks. If that's not possible, do your best when you can, right? And so you want to keep giving your body the opportunity to recalibrate. And the body is such an important tool. I've worked at the body. I do a lot of mindset work, and I've really avoided a lot of talks about physical health and well-being. But this really was a big wake-up call, this opportunity that I had a couple of weeks ago where I literally had my body crash. I crashed, and it didn't feel good. And it was a real wake-up call, because I realized a lot of us that are in this world, we might be focusing on really great business practices. We might be focusing on really great mindset practices. You've got to take care of the physical body as well, or it's just not going to be there to support all these beautiful things that you're doing in terms of making an impact in the world, in terms of living a vibrant life, in terms of having the energy that you need to do whatever it is that you need to do and that you want to do to contribute to other people. So you're going to be able to contribute to your family and to everyone else if you literally eat, move, and sleep on a regular basis, and start noticing some of the signs and symptoms of not doing these things, right? Headaches, exhaustion, being irritable, getting sick, burnout. And there are a lot of fields of study. When you go back to these core practices, you'll notice a lot of the physical problems and a lot of the signs of not taking care of yourself go away. If you literally go back to the basics, just like everything else, just like mindset work, going back to the basics is really where it's at. So I want you to do something where you're eating, moving, and sleeping a little more effectively this week, and build that into your life, because that's going to give you the power and the fuel to think positively. That's going to feel better physically. And when you feel good physically, generally you feel better emotionally as well. When you really look at yourself with your goals and your ideal life achieved, you are going to be behaving a certain way. And chances are that's probably in some sort of alignment with eating, sleeping, and moving. So get started now. That is in alignment with your desires. And one of the things that Kelsey and I have been talking about is really adding more tools and resources to your toolbox. Okay. And so we are putting together some fantastic ideas over the next couple of months, and we'll be launching them soon, and we can't wait to tell you all about them. But in the meantime, we would love to connect with you. We would absolutely love to connect with you just to learn more about your daily habits. What are your habits like? Are they supporting you? Are they not? So we want to interview people. We want to just connect with people to learn more about what it is that you're doing, so we could really craft this idea that we have in a meaningful way for so many people out there. Okay. So if you have a few minutes, get on the phone with us, get on the phone with either one of us. We would love to connect with you and just learn more about what your daily habits are, what is working, what is not, where do you want to improve? And that would be amazing for us. It'll give us lots of information, and we may be able to help you along the way. So I hope you have a fantastic day. I will be back again next week for another Lunch and Learn. Bye for now.